Usually the treatment which is being planned up in a routine practice is primarily at four different levels. The first one, as claimed by Ayurveda, swasthasya swasthya rakshanam athurasya vikarapashanam. So the first one is to maintain the health in an healthy individual, that is to maintain the swasthyata in an individual. So to maintain the swasthyata in an individual, what you need to do? You need to follow the dinacharya, rutucharya palana, sadvrutta palana, etc. It should be. Added to that, what we have to do, the nitya rasayana sevana also should be consumed to see that the person stays healthy for lifetime. And one among that nitya rasayana sevana is about the rasagarbha potali. Rasagarbha potali is one such a drug which can be given as a nitya rasayana, which can update the shrotasas, the dhatus in a normalcy, and can act as a very good maintenance of an individual health. That is the swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, which is definitely to happen because Anandakanda in 4th chapter explains about the sevana of Nitya Parada and Gandhaka, and Rasagarbha Potali is nothing but a combination of Parada and Gandhaka with very small concentration of Swarna in it. So this is one such combination of drug which can be used in most of such disorders. The second style of treatment or the second method of clinical evaluation for the treatments is about the Shroto Dushti Chikitsa, wherein you have a patient who has been suffering from certain illness. You try to analyze what Shrotas it has been involved or what is a clinical presentation, and based on that you plan for giving or selecting a particular drug in that particular illness. Say for example Pranava Shrotas as Shwasa Chikitsa. Example, Malagarbha Potali is very specifically to be prescribed in the conditions like Shwasa, which has been affected as the internal pathologies because of the involvement of the Pranava Shrotas. So whenever you have a patient who is been suffering from the disorders of the Pranava Shrotas, the Shwasa Chikitsa as per Charaka Vimana, like Shwasa Chikitsa is the treatment protocol for the treating elements of the disorders of the Pranava Shrotas. And one such a drug which has been useful in treating the Shwasa Chikitsa is the Malagarbha Potali, as claimed from the textbook of Rasashastra. So Malagarbha Potali is one such a drug which can be prescribed in the clinical presentations of Shwasa or any of the disorders related to that of the Pranava Shrotas. So whenever you have any of the clinical presentations of either of the patients who is suffering from either Shwasa or from the disorders of the Pranava Shrotas, we need to prescribe them with the drugs like that of the Malagarbha Potali, which will definitely help them to cope up with the disorders of the Pranava Shrotas. So this is one such example. We can take up a similar examples for all the Shrotases. We can go for a multiple choice of drugs as well. We can have a varied choice of drugs, and accordingly we can go for the clinical practice. And the third style of the treatment or the third protocol of the treatment could be Shroto Moola Chikitsa. So whenever we have discussed something about the Pranava Shrotas, the Moola of the Pranava Shrotas is a Hridaya. So the textbook asks us the Moola, it is not only to fill the bulk of the textbook, the Moola Sthana is clinically important whenever you plan for the treatment protocols. So whenever you have a case which has been related to the Pranava Shrotas, you are supposed to analyze what is the Moola of the Pranava Shrotas. The Moola of the Pranava Shrotas is Hridaya. So there are n number of drugs in Rasa Shastra which acts on Hridaya. So you need to give certain drugs which acts or which gives strength to the Hridaya so that the person will have a good treatment for the whole Shrotas. What does it mean? Just like you protect the root of a plant, the whole plant is being totally healthy and normal, which gives you more flowers and fruits. This is how you treat the roots. You water it, you give it some fertilizer, you take care of it, you see that it's not being affected by some worms and insects. So similarly, the Moola of the Shrotas here is the Hridaya. Whenever the person is suffering from any disorders of the Pranava Shrotas which is chronic enough or which is deep-rooted, deep-seated or Bahudosha Avastha or any of the conditions wherein the pathology is very severe, then you have to consider, or Dirgha Kalina Vyadhis, you need to consider the Moolasthana, that is a Hridaya. and try to give the drug which acts on the Hridaya to protect the whole Shrotas. Or in case if it is being neglected, the Shrotas which is repeatedly affected due to some disorders will definitely have its impact on the Moolasthana. So instead, try to say that you protect the Moolasthana, and so that the person is being very much acquainted with the disorders which he is supposed to face with. And you can go for a very specific drug of choice, say for example Abragarbha Potali, which is also indicated as Hridaya, which is also indicated as a Shwasahara, because it's a disorder related to the Pranavashrotas. So whenever you have a disorder which is related to the Pranavashrotas, the Chikitsa is Shwasa as per the textbook of Ayurveda. So on that pertaining grounds, Abraka is one such choice as per the Rasashastra textbook. So when you prepare Abragarbha Potali and give it to the patient of Shwasa, it acts equally on the Shrotas, the disease clinical manifestation, and as well as on the Hridaya, which is the Moolasthana of the Pranavashrotas. So the selectivity of the drug should be on this protocol, so that the person will have a quick response in case if it is to either of such clinical conditions. The next way of the clinical presentation or the next style of treatment of the disorders are the Shroto Vidha Lakshanas or Shroto Vidha Chikitsa. So this is very much pertaining specifically to the godly person Acharya Sushruta, where he explains about the Vidya Chikitsa or Vidya Lakshanas, wherein it's something like an emergency or a quick acting drugs. This is an emergency way wherein you have a sudden depletion in the dhatus, or there is a severe involvement of the three doshas, marma vighata, or anything of those kinds, wherein you have traumas or any of the conditions which can lead to the emergencies most of the time. So this is one such area of interest, again, where Rasashastra takes its lead role and try to prescribe with the potalis of these kinds, which acts quickly and instantly, like the Hemagarbha Potali in the Pranavashroto Vidya Chikitsa, wherein you can see the respiratory illness of an individual. It is being very well arrested by the initial observation of the patient in a proper way, depending on the Bahudosha Avastha or the involvement of the dhatus in the individual in the form of the dushyas, that is a samprapti. And in case if it is a drastic stepping, then you are supposed to select the drugs of these kinds like Hemagarbha Potali, which is going to be a useful form of treatment in all the Vidya Chikitsas. Might be the patient is suffering from any of the Shwasas before it lands up into the complicatory phases of Shwasa, like either might be it lands up into Mahashwasa or Kshataja, Kshayaja Kasa, any of those conditions where the mortality is very high, or whenever the person is having some conditions like Urakshata like presentations. Urakshata need not be a stabbing from the external injuries or something. It could be even from the internal injuries because of the dosha vighata, which can lead to the respiratory illnesses, wherein the person doesn't respond to Kasa Shwasa or any of the clinical presentation unless and until you give him some drugs related to the Kshata, Urakshata. Only then the person will have a sort of a rejuvenation. Especially for the people who speak long times, might be it's a teacher, might be it's a politician who gives long speeches, or any of such people who are having this lakshana of having a continuous consistent exertion of the respiratory system, need to take certain drugs of these kinds sometimes, wherein it can help them to soothe the pranavashrotas, which can help them to have a significant effect with the Pranavashrotas. And such drugs could be something like Hemagarbha Potali, specifically for the Pranavashrotas with the Chikitsa. Hemagarbha is one such drug which is having an indication as Ojakshaya, also in Rajakshma. So it is going to update the Ojas, it is going to address the situations like Rajakshma. So you need to prescribe such drugs which has been very, very significantly protecting the organelles of an individual and also not making it to deplete further, also not affecting the surrounding systems, shrotas or the organs. So that is the way how the treatment protocol should be planned up whenever we go for either of these 4 phases of the treatment modalities, wherein the doctor will seldom fail in case if he follows either of these rules. And in case if he is able to maintain the conditions with either of these 4 formats regarding at what presentation or what stage the patient approaches to then he will never fail in his clinical trials. based on this particular thing, we can have a gross setting of how the Potolis acts as rasayanas at various dhatugata rogas. Whenever we have a patient in the clinical protocol, we do analyze them basically based on the doshas and the dushyas which has been affected. So the doshas are being affected in a particular way and dushyas are being affected in a particular way. The dushyas are, might be it is the dhatus or the mallas or either of the way, but still I would like to say whenever you have the disorders of the rasa and raktavah shrotas, my experiences taught me of the clinical administration of the Lohagarbha and Pravalagarbha potali. So if I administer either of the Lohagarbha or Pravalagarbha potali to the patient, I find much of the disorders related to the rasa and raktava shrotas are being addressed well. Similarly, if I have the disorders related to the Mamsava shrotas, the Tamragarbha potali, Vishagarbha potali or Rajatagarbha potali could be useful. In case if the disorders is of the Medhava shrotas, then the Talagarbha, Shilagarbha, Rajatagarbha potali could be my choice. Astiva shrotas involvement, Pravalagarbha and Tamragarbha potali could be the right choices for me. Majjava shrotas involvement, Mallagarbha and Rajatagarbha could be the choice of drugs specifically to this shrotas. In case if it is Shukrava shrotas, then it is mandated to be used with that of the Tridhatu Garbha, or you have the Hema Garbha here. In case if ojas of a person is being affected, either of the Sara of the person is affected, then ojas is also being affected. Most of the times, either you have the Ojakshaya, Ojo Dushti, Ojo Vyapat, either of the conditions, then I would like to recommend you with that of the Hema Garbha or the Ratna Garbha potali, which is also very much essential for the clinical presentations for all these conditions wherever we have the potalis as a prime role for the clinical presentations. So with this particular format or potalis, let us try to analyze the things in a clinical perspective, how they can act at various levels. How can the potalis act at various levels? The first one is about the pranava shrotas. Whenever you have a person who is been suffering from the disorders of the pranava shrotas, as I claimed already, the moola of the person of that particular shrotas, that is a hridaya, should always be taken into consideration so that it doesn't affect the shrotas as well. The person will not land up into the disorders of the shrotas of that particular shrotas. So the potalis of the various systems in the clinical practice, especially in case if it is related to the pranava shrotas, might be you take it as a respiratory system. There are specific drugs, but there are certain drugs which can also act on this particular shrotas, which is highly supportive, is about the Pravalagarbha potali, the Mallagarbha potali, Talagarbha potali, Shilagarbha and Hemagarbha. So this could be a prime outset of the clinical utility of the various potali kalpanas, especially in this particular shrotas. Of course, depending on the other dosha samurchana and other conditions, you can definitely go with the choice of the other potalis as well. But I am using most of the times with these potali kalpanas in case if it is related to the pranava shrotas. And, in case the Shilagarbha potali, which is very much commonly I do use in the conditions of the pranava shrotas, one thing I need to keep in mind is only about the factor of pitta. In case if the person is with the Pitta Prakriti or Pitta Vikriti, try to see that you associate the Shilagarbha along with that of Pravala or other Shita Virya Dravyas, because Shilagarbha is an arsenic based compound which might not really suit with the people who are with the Pitta Bahula. So in those conditions, might be you need to counteract it or substitute it or replace this with the other choice of drugs which can be prescribed in most of the conditions. Other than that Pitta factor, need not worry about the Shilagarbha. Based on the bias or based on the vaya of an individual, the age factor, and also the sensitivity of an individual to accept the Haratala like preparations, you can choose with the drugs of these kinds with the Taratama Bhava in respect to the dosage fixation. Might be you can choose with 1 gram per week, or I do extend it even up to 2 grams per week. Sometimes I do give even more quantities. So I had a case of lung carcinoma wherein the person had sudden breathlessness, investigated, wherein we came to know like it was metabolically active tumors all over the thoracic cavity. Along with the metastasis with the surrounding areas, they were with huge sizes of nearly 17 into 18 nodules, especially in the left lower lobe. Also, he had huge multiple loculated cystic lesions in approximately at the size of 11 into 10 into 10 centimeters, not millimeters, it was in centimeters. And the person was on the treatment of the similar passion which I have explained you just now. The Hemagarbha and Mallagarbha were the choice of drugs to be given for this particular person, and wherein the person had this breathlessness which was being totally addressed well, and added to that the person had a pericardial effusion which was being tapped and removed. Then later on, no chemotherapy or no radiation was being given. We have just given them this Potolis. Absolutely no supportive medicines were being given other than that of Rasa medicines. After 6 months of the clinical trials, we could really appreciate the clinical presentation with the particular patient. We had a very small germ cell tumor which is possibly around 2 millimeters, absolutely non-significant. The rest of the tumors have been totally vanished. All the tumors which were present in the thoracic cavity totally disappeared. All the tumors were totally dissolved, and the person was totally normal. He was never bedridden. He was totally back to his activities, and he was totally normal throughout. Added to that, I had another case with the CA lungs and giant cell tumor associated, wherein he had bilateral round lung lesions, larger, and also he had metastasis all over the cavity. So he had been treated with Lotus. Definitely it was a very successful way of managing the patient, wherein he was being responded very well because so much he was being very frequently cross-investigated throughout, and the lesions started to dissolve. Then the lesions were totally disappeared later on. Absolutely, the reports say like there is no malignancies at all in the body. He had a huge sized malignancies and the lesions in the lungs, and later on the person turned out to be totally normal. So even his X-ray turned normal. He did not had any lung consolidation. He did not had any fibrotic lesions. He did not had any malignancy presentations, post-malignancy presentations. None were being observed. Everything was being totally normal. The person the treatment and is totally fine. He is even till date is totally fine. No recurrence. And the person is totally active physically, all his activities in a normal mode, and he is not being restricted to either of the ways. He is totally been pertaining in a normal way as any other person, but only thing is the person is totally been under my supervision and also under the medical treatments which is going on till date, and he is still on the treatments with a very small dosage. We are not giving him the classical dosage of a higher dosage forms, giving him with a very low dosage forms as a maintenance. He's totally fine with that particular dosage forms, and repeatedly we try to go for the cross evaluation with that of the, sometimes we go for the PET scan, sometimes we go for CT thorax, sometimes we go for the chest X-ray, try to see with the various forms, but still it's normal. The next Shrotas which is to be considered is about the Udakava Shrotas. So Udakava Shrotas is one such clinical condition wherein we need to go with the very deep thinking, and your thoughts and attitude should be very much as deep as the ocean itself. Just because of the reason, the most neglected Shrotas in the clinical practice, I feel so, because many times I don't find my students being very seriously considering about the concept of the Udakava Shrotas in every patient. The basic phenomenon, what happens to an individual whenever any of the dosha abhighata or any of the insults happens to the individual, wherein the doshas and doshas try to vary, they try to derail themselves, is it is a sign of inflammation which happens. This is the first sign which the body gives. So whenever you have the sign of inflammation, it is something like Shota. It might be it is visible externally or it's not visible externally, but we have to treat it, Udakava Shrotas itself. And one such a drug which can really address the situation of the Udakavashrotas is the Rajatagarbha Potali. So Rajatagarbha Potali is one such drug which can totally maintain the condition in such a beautiful way, like it can arrest the whole pathogenesis which is happening to the Udakavashrotas and try to maintain it in a very normal condition. By administering the Rajatagarbha Potali, the person's clinical perspection, wherein you have anything related to the Udakavashrotas, is being addressed really well, and wherein the person is being taken care of is with his presentations in most of the conditions. Now, the next Shrotas is about the Annavashrotas. So this is one of the most important Shrotas, just because of the reason the Udbhavasthana of the disorders. Most of the disorders as per Ayurveda is Amashaya, Pakvashaya or Amapakvashaya. So the Udbhavasthana of most of the disorders is from the Annavashrotas. So whenever you have the clinical pathologies related to the Annavashrotas, you need to administer certain set of drugs which can be prescribed so that it could arrest the disorders, the genesis of the disorders, wherein the diseases which are to be formed are also being arrested well. That happens only with the administration of the set of drugs which can be prescribed in Annavashroto Vikharas. So few of such drugs which can be very specifically prescribed in the Annavashroto Vyadhi is about the Tamragarbha Potali, Pravalagarbha Potali, Ananda Bhairava Potali, Pravala Panchamruta Potali, Rasagarbha Potali, or few of the Potali Kalpanas which can be prescribed. So either of these Potalis will definitely help you in warding off the disorders related to the GIT. So GIT disorders includes even a simple ajerna. It includes even the clinical presentations as Admana or Atopa. It can relate with the disorders of the Gulma as well. So might be in case if you have a patient who is having a mild alteration with, like a clinical presentation of Admana or Atopa, it need not be neglected because it could be Gulma as well by tomorrow. So you need to arrest the condition as early as possible. For that you need to administer either of these drugs. More specific I would like to emphasize is about the Tamragarbha Potali in these conditions. So Tamragarbha is one such a drug which really acts in a miraculous way in the disorders related to the Annavashrotas. So the next Shrotas is about the Rasavashrotas. Whenever you have the clinical presentations of the Rasavashrotas, it need to be arrested, and most of the times you need to consider the Rasa and Raktavashrotas together in understanding it clinically and try to protocol the set of medicines accordingly. But still, speak about the Rasavashrotas or Rasa Raktavashrotas together. Few of the drugs of choice could be something like the Lohagarbha Potali, Pravalagarbha Potali, Tamragarbha Potali, Hemagarbha Potali. Could be the initial choices, wherein I try to choose either of these drugs as the prime set of choices in all the Potali Kalpas whenever I have a patient related to the disorders of the Rasa and Raktavashrotas. Added to this, other formulations which can be used in Rudroga can also be given just because of the reason the Moola of the Rasavashrotas is Hridaya and the Moola of the Raktavashrotas is Yakrut. So we need to consider the importance of Hridaya and Yakrut as well. So we need certain drugs which can act equally. In case if it is to the Rasavashrotas very specific, I would like to give the drugs which is very specifically acting on the Hridaya because it's a Moola Sthana of the Rasavashrotas, wherein we need to consider the Abragarbha Potali, Lohagarbha, Hemagarbha, Mrityunjaya, Prabhakaravati, Nagarjuna Rasa, Hridayarnava, Kankayanavati, Pishtis. Either of these things could be utilized for the Rudroga. And all the drugs which can be acted on Rudroga are also acting on the Pranavashrota Vyadhi. Just because of the reason the Pranavashrota Vyadhi should be addressed well with the Rudbhalakara Dravyas, wherein you need to strengthen the Hridaya because it's a Moola. So wherein the ejection factor of the patient was only 30%. For him we have planned up to give him the drugs of these kinds like the Prabhakaravati and Hemagarbha Potali was being given along with Nagarjuna Ras within possibly around 45 days or 2 months, 60 days. I could get the ejection factor of the person to 58%. So this is a 2D echo of the patient before treatment and after treatment, wherein you can see the ejection factor being very significantly improved within a short interval, and absolutely no intervention of any supportive drugs were given other than these drugs. wherein the person was totally fine, and he had a wonderful response, and the person had a diet restrictions as per the cardiac illness, and added to that he had some distress, cardiac distress, breathlessness and other aspects, which were also being addressed equally well by this set of drugs. As I said, the moola of the Shrotas is very important. The moola of the Shrotas can also cure the pathologies of the whole of the Shrotas. So this is the importance of the treatment modalities of the clinical pathologies of these kinds. So this is another case wherein the person had a sort of a breathlessness and a sort of exertional dyspnea, wherein this is about the ECG reading of the person, and later on he had a sort of a discomfort. Later on we had gone with the intervention as the ECG reading as sinus rhythm, and also we have something like the patient had an inferior infarct, age undetermined, or marked left axis deviation. So possibly considering this, we cannot neglect, we had also been undergone with the patient, wherein we had gone with the echo of the patient, wherein we could come across the hypertensive heart disease, concentric left ventricular hypertrophy, grade 1 left ventricular diastolic dysfunction, normal left ventricle systolic functional is 59%, and none of the other things were really significant. But for this particular patient we had no time because he was exertional. So for him we have to give him with the Pravalagarbha, because it is one such drug which acts on Rasava Shrotas and Raktava Shrotas, and I am focusing on the hypertension as well because it's having its impact on the heart. So I need to see that the hypertension is being addressed, the cardiac insult is being reduced, and strengthen the cardia, and also address the situation of the clinical presentation as the breathlessness and exertion. So for this particular patient we have given a loading dose of Hemagarbha and Pravalagarbha along with Nagarjunabra. The response of the patient, wherein we have gone with the myoglobulin, which is very much under control, and CKMB, that is a kinetic method, and also troponin, which was also almost to the control, which is totally under control, and wherein the person is being totally fine, possibly within 2 days. The person is totally fine. This happened somewhere when the age of the patient is around 68. Very important phenomenon, how we can arrest the conditions of these kinds. The other phenomenon what I had is a thrombocytopenia case, wherein she did not never seen in her 56 years of age the platelet count has been ever raised, not more than 40 or 50,000 in her lifetime. All sorts of investigations possible were being carried out by various centers. For this particular patient we have planned up to give with that of the Pravalagarbha and Hemagarbha to the patient along with Panchavalkala, Quata as an Anupanam. Eventually you can see the thrombocytopenia wherein the patient has eventually built up the protocol of the platelet counts, and eventually the platelet has increased up to 1.2 lakhs. For the first time in the 58 years of her life expectancy, the person has seen the platelet count which has crossed around 40 or 50,000. So this what we can maintain with that of our drugs. The patient is still under treatment. These are the reports of the patient possibly in the year 2017 and 2018. The patient is still under treatment with the same set of medicines, but more of Pravalagarbha and less of Hemagarbha because of the maintenance of Rasayanartha, and the patient's protocol is even today as good as normal persons. It's almost 1.5, 1.7 lakh, and it has never come down from this period of 2017 and 18, which reports were being eventually being done. So it's almost, I do consider like it's a normal physiology which is going on now, because now it's 2020, and even in this 2020 her reports are still normal. She did not deteriorate in respect to her platelet count, because whenever she had a reduction in the platelet count she finds a sort of energy loss. She used to find a So for that we need to consider certain set of drugs which were to be considered as Sankochakaranadi Balakrut, wherein we plan to give them with that of the Tutta, Kasi, Spatika or Mridharashanga as claimed from the textbook of Rasatarangini 21st chapter. So whenever you have such a Sankochakaranadis, when you have shrinking of the vessels, we can plan up with either of these drugs in the form of Potalikalpanas and try to administer them so that you have a therapeutic efficacy and you have a clinical response in the clinical conditions. So this is what it clinical pathologists. This is another case wherein we had a acute myeloid leukemia positive for the malignant cells and the blast cells were at least of 95%. With the Vishagarbha Potali and Hemagarbha Potali, the blast cells were significantly reduced. This response we can achieve in most of the cases, possibly within 1 or 2 months most of the times. Avoiding the malignancy metastasis is also an important phenomenon. Which is also a sort of a protection in the form of rasayana, which is also very much possible by the oral administration of the Potalikalpanas. See, I had a case wherein she had a multiple lymph node involvement all over the body, and they were not interested into the active treatment protocol because her age was quite high. She was around 78 plus, and the family people has requested just to see that quality of life to be improved, and they need to give her with only the set of drugs which can really help her to avoid metastasis and try to see that she can be maintained very well with the clinical methods of treatment protocols, wherein we have given her medicines and the metastasis was totally been arrested. There are many cases wherein I have seen the metastasis have totally been disappeared. It has been resolved, but it is also been well maintained and not spread to the other areas were also been observed in certain cases. This is not a rule or a hard and fast method or a SOP for most of the cases. These are a few of the observations which I have observed in my clinical protocol, wherein I could observe these significant changes by the administration of the Potalikalpanas. Might be if we go for a wider set of patients, for a higher set of patients, for a varied set of patients, we can come up with more interference in respect to the clinical protocol. The next one is about the Raktavashrotas, wherein we need to deal upon, most of the times Rasa and Raktavashrotas are being dealt together, but still Raktavashrotas is also an important phenomenon for the administration of certain Potalikalpanas. They are something like Ekrut Pilihari Loha Potali, Loha Garbha Potali, Tamra Garbha Potali, Vishagarbha Potali, or few of the combinations which are to be given in certain disorders of the Raktavashrotas. There are varied disorders related to the Raktavashrotas, but still these are certain set of medicines which do act even at multiple levels, just because of the reason most of these drugs are being targeted to the Moolasthana, that is Ekrut and Piliha. So I had this case wherein the person had a chronic liver parenchymal disease cirrhosis. The patient was into ICU, wherein he was being treated with the Tamragarbha, Arogyavardhini, Ekrut Pilihari, Kumari Asava, and wherein you can see the response in the patient in the very short interval, possibly within 20 or 30 days. The cirrhosis of the liver has been totally vanished. The person became all right and he was totally normal. So certain changes of these miraculous interventions can also be observed in most of the cases. Hepatitis virus, HBsAg positive, is one of the very common thing which has been affecting a wide set of people nowadays. You have either of the conditions. I had a patient wherein she was being infected at least from past 20 years. She had a surgery in the year 2017 for which she was being investigated, and prior to that, from past 2 years, from 2015 onwards, she was on the treatment with the Tamragarbha Potali and Kumari Asava, and astonishingly to see her HBsAg turned negative, and a surgical profile where she was being for a intervention or a small surgery went on absolutely great. So this is few of the changes what you can find. The other set of drugs which can act really on the Raktavashrota Vyadhi is the Kushtagna set of drugs which we need to give in most of the disorders related to the Kushta pathology. Like you have the Pravala Garbha Potali, Loha Garbha, Talakeshwara, Talagarbha Potali, Sarveshwara Parpati. Either of these things can be given to the patients suffering from the disorders of the Kushta in related to the Rakta. Thalagarbha Potali is very specific, which can be prescribed in most of such clinical pathologies, which is miraculous and wonderful to have the clinical intervention of the Thalagarbha in an individual related to the disorders of the Pranavashrotas, Rasa Raktavashrotas, and also to the Annavasha times. So hyperkeratinosis or either of the conditions of palmar psoriasis or either of the clinical presentations, Lohagarbha is a drug of choice or Thalagarbha is a drug of choice. Added to that, you can see the significant changes in an individual before and after treatment. How beautifully it has been totally tracked well by the administration of these potalis in the patients before. Of course, Sarveshwara Parpati is one more such a drug which can act at a multiple level. I do use it in Vidrudi-like conditions. So Sarveshwara Parpati can also be converted in the form of a Potali Kalpana and can be prescribed in the clinical presentations of these kinds, which can be given to most of the patients in the form of Potali Kalpanas, because they are something like double strength, which can act really wonderful in most patients. So this was a case of a pemphigus vulgaris suffering from almost 15 years. She had all over the body the lesions, but now presently with the administration of the Hemagarbha and Pravagarbha, she's totally fine and she's having only one small dryness scaling of the skin. Other than that, she's totally fine. Or else you should see the condition of the patient suffering from pemphigus vulgaris. It's really pathetic. And these clinical presentations, wherever you have, including that of the malignancies of the gut, are also related to the disorders related to the Annavashrotas, and also I do take it from the disorders of the Rasa and Raktavashrotas as well. The malignancies of the, most of them do need the oral interpretation, wherein we are prescribing in most of these malignancies with that of Hemagarbha, Tamragarbha, and also Mallagarbha in most of the countries. I had a case wherein she had abdominal tumors all over the abdomen with necrotizing type of methods, wherein we have given her with that of the Lohagarbha and Hemagarbha Potali and Sarveshwara Parpati in the form of Potali as well. You can see the changes within the patients. Much of the malignancy cells of the abdomen were being totally addressed well. And she was, at least she could become totally normal for much of her time, but she had lots of metastasis throughout the body, and eventually the patient collapsed after a treatment of nearly 2 to 3 years.